on this 26th day of February 2020, Ash Wednesday, the first day of Lent. A scripture reading taken from Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 to 6 and 16 to 21. Beware of practicing your piety before men in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give alms, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by men. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be in secret. And your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you. And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by men. Truly I say to you, they have received the reward. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And when you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that their fasting may be seen by men. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by men, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
A long-distance runner trains and runs regularly. A professional physician reads up on news and developments in medicine. A dutiful parent constantly learns child-rearing knowledge. A good student studies and reviews lessons learned. But yet, they do not purposely tell others how much time and effort they have devoted to their cause, because they fully understand that the point of working hard is not to please others, but to do one's job and mission, and to do it well. In secret appears repeatedly in this scripture reading, and its repetition is something to take notice of. Why should fasting, praying, and almsgiving be done in secret? The reality is that whether these activities are carried out in secret or in public is not a problem. Christians often fast together, pray together, and contribute together. All are very appropriate activities. The problem lays with the hypocrites. Perhaps we feel hypocrites to be too severe a criticism, not a label befitting ourselves or Christian friends. But if we believe this to be true, then we have taken Jesus' teaching too lightly and overestimated ourselves. Of course, the majority of us would not pray at street corners to be seen and praised by others. Quite the opposite. We would consider it to be an embarrassment. And when we are asked to lead others in prayer, have we purposefully scripted it with elegant phrases? Do our voices and vocal tones change? Is the focus on God's presence or the perception of those in attendance? This is what Jesus is calling our attention to. In our faith journey, our attention, deliberately or inadvertently, is turned from God to others. Spiritual discipline requires Christians to always put God as the centre. Even in serving others, we care for those we share, but it is not about making them happy, as it is about responding to God's will. It is true that it isn't easy to be our most open and authentic self in the presence of others. And that's why Jesus reminds us to fast, pray, and give alms in secret. Or else we shall not find spiritual goodness. Being out of sight of others, we are not affected by their receptiveness. We can see ourselves clearly and better understand the state of our relationship with God. When there are no people to offer praise, there is no instant reward. Then all we do, we truly do solely for God. It is only through spiritual training on the QT that our life can be impacted positively. Not only is doing in order to be seen by others is not of spiritual benefit, it leads us further away from God. This is because once we're focused on others' reception, our hearts are in their grasp. The Lenten season is a good time for spiritual training. The Church has many traditions that help us in spiritual growth and formation. But we must remember that focus on God is the foundation of any training. Don't tell other people what you've done. Don't obsess over how much and how well you've done. In fasting, praying, or almsgiving, please remember Jesus' reminder for us to do it in secret, on the QT. Because God watches us in secret. And when we enter this realm and encounter the Lord, that is where we find the best rewards. Some reflection questions. Would you take part in religious activities to win the approval of others? What is your training plan for this Lenten season? And search for your personal in-secret time and place and method so that you can focus solely on God.